Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Snippy Joker, and on today's episode we are going into Phase 2 movement speed. Now Phase 1, as I've said in my previous videos, was for how much base damage a character can do. Now this all depends on just the base damage, no abilities, no buffs, no debuffs. So anything that's on the right hand side, bottom right hand side of the screen would be considered ability, and then the left hand side was considered base damage. Now Phase 2, we're doing movement speed, no abilities, no buffs, no debuffs. So in the first video we did tanks, which was a little surprising. They were all about the same speed. They were doing it from going from 0 to 60 meters in about 10 seconds, so it's about 6 meters per second. And the only one that showed a little bit of an edge was Thor. With the healers, we finally got some differences in speed, and that's only because some of these characters have a passive ability that allows them to move a little bit faster. So number 3 in the healers, we have, I would say, is a tie between the Invisible Woman, who did it in about 10 seconds. The other one was Adam. Well, let's go to the healers. Adam, who did it in about 10 seconds. And of course Rocket, who did it in about 10 seconds. Now this, again, I know Rocket has a booster, but we're not using those because that's an ability, and an ability that requires a cooldown. This is just base speed. And then finally number 2 would be Mantis. Mantis made it across the field from 0 to 60 in about 8 seconds, because Mantis does have a passive ability that allows her to move a little bit faster when she's at full health. If I remember correctly, let's go into her hero profile. Where's the passive? Receive a movement boost when not injured and healing over time when consuming life orbs. So when she's not injured, she has a boost. And she also has an ability that doesn't really require a cooldown. All it requires you is one of those life energies, and if you hit circle, she still does it in about 8 seconds with her approved ability that I believe increases her damage. Let's check that out one more time. Consume life orbs to grant herself a damage, so it's just damage boost. So really, she does it across the field in about 8 seconds. Lastly, there's a tie for number 1, and depending on who you like to play, depending on arguments can be made for both sides, Luna Snow has a passive ability that allows her to skate over land, and this ability, it's passive. So this ability allows her to go from one side to another in about 7 seconds. Now, the only other person that was able to do the same exact speed was Jeffrey the Shark. Now, Jeffrey, if he's above land, he did it in about 10. But he does have an ability that doesn't require a cooldown that can be used constantly, so it kind of works technically. When he's underground, he can do it in about 7 seconds. So, who is the better of the two? Well, Luna doesn't require her to go underground to get her passive. All she has to do is start running forward. Jeffrey, however, does require to go underground, even though it doesn't have a cooldown. And on top of that, Jeffrey doesn't really take damage. All you can really see is his fin. So, based on that, you can make arguments for either side on who would be the better. Now, the only person who did it a little bit above 10 seconds is Loki. Loki did it around 11 seconds going from point A to point B. Yes, you can use his clones, but again, if you use his clone, it does have a certain distance it can go, and once you hit that circle button, that's it. You have to wait for a cooldown to use it again. So we're excluding that because it does require a cooldown. So, fastest overall healers, you have the top number 1 players is Luna Snow and Jeffrey the Shark, or Jeff the Shark, whatever you like to call him. So, tell me your thoughts. Tell me who you think the fastest is going to be for the DPS characters. Tell me if you feel that the fastest characters I've shown here today, or if you feel like they're faster, if you're like, wow, I didn't know that, or Snippy, I already knew this is a bunch of crap, whatever. Tell me in the comments. Sub for more. Up next is DPS. Like the video. And of course, if you want more single player content, check out Snippy Joker 2.0, Snippy Joker Shorts for short form content. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. All those lovely social media platforms. Go follow me on there. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.